They say real love doesn't always speak. It reveals itself in silence, not through big words or grand gestures, but in the smallest things. The glance that lingers a little too long, the way their energy shifts when you walk into the room, the quiet care they show when no one else is watching. You see, words can deceive, but energy never lies. When someone truly loves you, their actions speak in whispers only your heart can hear. It's in how they remember the things you forgot, how they look at you like you're home, and how even in silence they still find a way to reach you. Most people wait for love to be declared, but the truth is, real love rarely announces itself. It doesn't always say, "I love you." Sometimes it just shows up, patiently, consistently, unspoken. So how do you recognize it? How do you know when someone's heart quietly belongs to you, even if they've never said a word? Today we'll uncover 7 subtle signs that reveal when someone loves you in silence. Signs that go beyond attraction, beyond infatuation, and touch something much deeper, something genuine. Stay with me until the end, because the truth about love isn't found in what people say, but in what they can't hide. Number 1, they protect your heart without being asked. Real love doesn't just protect your body, it protects your peace, your emotions, your soul. When someone truly loves you, they guard your heart like it's something sacred. They think before they speak, not because they're afraid of you, but because they care about how their words might affect you. They defend you even when you're not around. They make sure no one disrespects you, not out of pride, but out of quiet loyalty. Psychologists call this the protective instinct. When someone forms a deep emotional attachment, their brain subconsciously switches into a kind of emotional guard mode. They become attuned to your well-being, noticing your moods, your silences, your tired eyes, and they respond with gentle care. They can sense when something's off, even when you try to hide it. And what makes this so powerful is that they don't need to announce it. They don't protect you to prove anything. They do it because it feels natural, because your happiness has become tied to theirs. That's how you know it's real. Not in the grand gestures or the romantic lines, but in the quiet way they hold space for your heart without ever needing to be told. Number 2, they remember the little things. When someone truly loves you, it's not just the big moments that stay with them. It's the tiny ones that most people overlook. They remember the way you take your coffee, the song that always lifts your mood, the story you shared once about a rainy afternoon from your childhood. They notice the words you repeat when you're nervous, the look in your eyes when you're lost in thought, the small things that make you you. This isn't just sentimentality. It's connection on a psychological level. Studies show that when someone pays attention to the small details about another person, their brain releases dopamine, the same chemical linked to pleasure and emotional bonding. In other words, remembering you literally makes them feel good. Their mind holds on to your details because you've become emotionally significant to them. But it goes deeper than memory. It's mindfulness. Love makes them more present, more aware. They listen not to reply, but to understand. Every detail they remember is proof that you have occupied space in both their mind and heart. So if they remember the things the world forgets, it's not by accident. It's because you've become unforgettable, etched into their quiet moments, woven into their thoughts in ways words can't explain. Number 3, they choose you in silence. Love often shows up not as fireworks, but as quiet, steady decisions made when no one's watching. It's the small, repeated choices that reveal real devotion. The way they politely deflect flirtation without drama, the way they keep promises when it's inconvenient, the way they make room for you in plans without announcing it. Psychologists call this silent commitment, a behavioral pattern where loyalty is expressed through consistent, mundane actions rather than theatrical declarations. This kind of choosing is powerful because it's low on theater and high on reliability. Grand gestures can be tempting and flashy, but they're easy to perform for an audience. Choosing you in silence requires internal alignment. Their values, priorities, and daily behaviors all point back to you. It means they prioritize your well-being in private conversations, defend your name when you're absent, and make practical decisions that protect the relationship's future. There's also a neuroscience angle. Repeated small acts of care build trust circuitry in the brain. Over time, these acts produce safety and attachment, the exact opposite of fleeting romance. So watch for patterns, not promises. When someone's actions consistently favor you, even in the tiny, unremarkable moments, that's evidence of love that's steady and lasting. If you want to test, notice how they behave where there's no applause. If they still choose you there, you found something rare. A love that isn't flashy, but is fiercely real. Number 4, they feel your pain as if it were their own. True care shows up not in commentary, but in contagion. When you hurt, their whole system tilts. They don't just offer solutions or platitudes. They wince at your silence. Their chest tightens when you cry. They seem unsettled by a sadness that isn't theirs to carry. This isn't mere sympathy. It's empathy so deep it becomes embodied. Neuroscience gives us a clue. Mirror neurons and empathic circuitry mean that when someone we deeply bond with suffers, our brain lights up in similar patterns to theirs. We literally simulate another person's emotional state so we can understand and often relieve on it. In relationships, that simulation becomes the seat of emotional attunement. Someone who truly loves you doesn't observe your pain from a distance. They feel the pull to act because your discomfort registers inside them as discomfort. Watch for the subtle signs. They drop everything to check on you. Their voice softens as if to ease the ache. They remember your triggers and step carefully around them. They don't perform worry for attention. They are genuinely unsettled until you're okay again. That level of internal resonance turns ordinary kindness into a kind of guardianship. Your wounds bother them because your well-being matters to their inner world. When someone feels your pain that deeply, it's one of the clearest proofs that their heart is aligned with yours. Number 5, they support your dreams, not just their own. Real love refuses to be small. When someone truly cares for you, your ambitions stop being threats and become shared projects. Instead of minimizing your goals or resenting the time you spend chasing them, they invest practically and emotionally in helping you grow. They celebrate the late nights, they sit through the tough meetings with you, and they offer honest feedback that sharpens rather than dulls your edge. Psychology calls this the self-expansion effect. People in healthy relationships seek to grow by including each other's perspectives, skills, and goals into their own sense of self. When partners support one another's growth, both brains register reward. Oxytocin and dopamine reinforce cooperation, trust, and long-term bonding. In short, their pride in your progress becomes a binding glue. Look for the small signals. They remember deadlines and ask how the project went. They connect you with people who can help, or they rearrange plans so you can have time to work towards something important. They don't compete with your success. They make room for it. And crucially, they don't keep score. Help is given because your flourishing matters to them intrinsically. If someone roots for your ascent, even when it risks changing the balance between you, that's not insecurity disguised as support. It's love that chooses growth over control. That kind of encouragement isn't conditional praise. It's a quiet promise. I want to see you fly. Number 6, they accept your flaws without making you feel small. True love doesn't hunt for perfection. It learns the map of your imperfections and treats every scar like part of the terrain. When someone truly loves you, they see your messy moments, the temper, the bad day, the thing you wish you could change, and they don't turn those into ammunition. Instead, they respond with steadiness, a calm question, a gentle reminder, or a practical offer to help. That response doesn't erase the problem, but it prevents shame from taking root. Psychology shows that lasting bonds grow from acceptance, not from relentless judgment. Attachment theory calls this a secure base. A person who welcomes your vulnerability gives you the safety to be imperfect and still belong. When your partner reacts with curiosity instead of contempt, it lowers your defensive walls and invites honest repair. Over time, those small, uncondemning moments accumulate into trust. Proof that you are loved for who you are, not for who you pretend to be. Watch for the signs. They acknowledge your faults without preaching, they forgive when you stumble, and they hold you accountable without shrinking you. They correct with compassion, not condescension. If someone sees your worst and still treats you as their best, that's love choosing belonging over perfection. That quiet acceptance is one of the truest, most powerful forms of devotion there is. Number 7, they stay even when it's hard. The truest test of devotion isn't a grand romantic gesture. It's the choice to stay when staying is costly. Love that endures shows up in the small, stubborn refusals to leave, staying through illness, arguing without burning bridges, showing up for the boring or painful days as reliably as for the joyful ones. This kind of consistency isn't dramatic. It's structural. It builds safety. Psychology calls this commitment behavior. Repeated, dependable acts that signal, I'm here for the long haul. Over time, those acts create a secure base. You stop performing and start being real. When someone stays through sleepless nights, career collapses, or family fights, they're not merely tolerant, they're investing in you and in the relationship's future. That investment rewires attachment. Your nervous system learns you are safe, your fears calm, and intimacy can grow. Watch for the little proof. They don't ghost when things go sideways. They make practical plans, not just promises. They return after arguments with a focus on repair rather than blame. They prioritize presence over convenience. That's the kind of love that holds steady when storms come. If you've seen this kind of staying in your life, recognize it as rare and precious. Which of these quiet proofs of love matters most to you? Share your experience. Your story might remind someone else to hold on.